legendary comedian Steven Crowder. Hi, Steve. Steve,
Legendary comedian. When was. Oh, never mind. He keeps trying to do comedy with his weird racist impersonations. True, you haven't heard my thoughts yet on the big Stephen Crowded divorce. Stephen Crowded. It was too crowded and Stephen Crowder's house, so a divorce had to happen. You love Vosh's sarcasm. Well, wait till you wait till you hear famous has a dry sarcasm. I'm actually not fully in form because of my throat condition.
Steve got a divorce. Now, you might wonder, to what extent is this political news? The answer to this is it's very funny.
I mean, you know, that might be a bit mean. Actually, oh my god, I'm not sarcastic. I'm just a bully. I'm just a mean person. When Vosh said that it's funny, the first thing that came to my mind is to say that finally Steven Crowder managed to do something funny as a comedian. Is that too much to say? Is it too much to say that Steven Crowder has finally come into his own as a comedian? He finally did something genuinely funny? Damn. I don't know. Maybe his career as a comedian is just starting right now. Oh yeah. Well, the whole bit was about changing Crowder's mind. It's okay. It's Crowder. True, I guess. Like, he did manage to be funny. So, no, don't go to sleep. Okay, let's continue. Let us continue. Because this gets interesting, you know? This gets interesting because. Oh, but you're here for my thoughts, right? Especially since I'm actually going through a. And you might think at first that it is. Okay, what I'm about to say might seem really unrelated and strange, but right now I'm going through a book called To Walk and Smile is the Right of Everybody. It is a book about sex work in the 19th century on the terrains of the so-called Polish kingdom, which was part of the Russian Empire in the 19th century. And you might be asking yourselves, why are you mentioning a book on sex work in the 19th century when discussing a segment about Steven Crowder getting divorced? And the answer to that question is it's because Steven Crowder has some opinions on marriage which basically mirrors the status quo of marriage in the 19th century, or maybe even before that. You know, because 19th century was the time when a no-fault divorce was getting sort of implemented and normalized. So I guess it's like I'm mentioning this because Steven Crowder really wishes we would go back in time, you know? Like a long, long time into the past. Also, while I'm at it, I'm going to tell you why the book is titled. I'm going to tell you why the book is titled To Walk and Smile is Everybody's Right. I think I've mentioned this on stream before. I think I've mentioned this yesterday on stream, but I think it's worth reminding. Like, there's a, you know how there's this thing where men will tell women to smile more? You know, hey, you would look nicer if you smiled more. Smile more. And that it's sort of like a way of control how women act. Smile more, right? So, when it came to sex workers, an inverse of that was the truth. Women who were sex workers were told to never smile, don't bring attention to themselves, to basically be invisible. And one of the biggest tenets of that were that they were forbidden, basically, from smiling in public, which was an inverse way of controlling how women acted. And in a protest, in a sign of protest, a socialist wrote, I don't remember his name right now, a socialist wrote, "It is a right of everyone to walk around the city and smile. Everyone has the right to smile." Okay? Because of the whole big, if you're a sex worker, it is forbidden for you to smile in public. You know? I think it was even reinforced by law, this sort of thing. So as you can see, the whole thing is not really about smiling or not smiling. It is about control. You know, it is about control people's actions. And this, in both cases, with smiling and not smiling, the two very like ends of the spectrum, it is about controlling how a woman acts. Hello, Boy Meets Meanie. We're watching a segment by our good friend Vosh, and I decided to sort of mention the book. It is everybody's right to walk and smile. Well, I try to read as much as possible. Like I have so many books that I must read, but thank you very much. It is a very good book, and there is a very special guest that I want to get on stream. So I don't want to talk too much about the book. I want to save it for a very special guest that I'm sort of behind the scenes working on getting on this stream to talk to. I think this will be one of the bigger treats for this stream, because this unnamed guest is a really great person. Conservative Christians love projecting control on others. Yeah, I know that this. There is a lot to talk about when it comes to the subject. What I really I can sort of talk about the topic a little bit. I would really like to discuss sex work, what it means today, what it means for people's sort of freedom, for their ability to make a living, how sex work today connects or compares to sex work in the past, in the 19th century. Those are topics that are worth exploring, I think. And it is a topic that I would really like to talk about with the special unnamed guest, whom I won't name until I can secure a meeting, a talk. Okay, we've done a little bit of a side thing about the book, and now we can continue watching Crowder crying about no fault divorces, I guess.
And that's really all you need, right? Listen, okay? As we know, everything is politics.
You know, while we're at it, Vosh is also correct in the sense that they say laughter brings you health. They do say laughter brings you health. And I think in this instance, we're gonna get a lot of laughter. Do you know why I like Vosh so much? Look at Vosh's chat on screen. So many duck emotes. Vosh fans use so many duck emotes. I'm surprised more Vosh fans are also not fans of this stream, since they're such fans of ducks. Vosh is not a chaser, come on. Stop. Stop it, please. Because he's based.
All fits within the dynamic. And if everything fits within it, then anything that makes us laugh must be good politics, right? It necessarily follows. There's actually a lot here. Apparently, the divorce filing was from some late 2022, which means that if you go back and look through his history of posts, you can see like every tweet he's made.
Nobody's chasing me. I've got no chasers. Where are the chasers at? Maybe once I show myself on camera. But remember, for me to show myself on camera, there's a condition. And the condition is 50 viewers live. 50 viewers live is the condition for me to do a stream, not with the avatar, but with Lucy has a face experience. FaceTime, face reveal, as they call it. The face reveal.
Made where he's like attacking single mothers or talking about the death of the American family or just whatever crap he's talking about. That was after he was given divorce filing. So the
Is it even safe to watch Crowder vocally abuse his wife on stream? Is that even a thing that I can show? Is that actually a thing that is safe for me to show? Actually, let's check real quick how many people are watching right now. I'm disabled, so I cannot chase. I will slowly walk in your general direction if you want. Of course. Of course I want. Of course. There are 10 people on YouTube. 9 people on the page. Two people on Twitch. Shouldn't be an issue. Okay, let's watch the footage. Before we move on, we're gonna watch some footage of Steven Crowder working for his divorce. I actually thought when you said shouldn't be an issue, I actually thought you were referring to the 50 viewers, not the showing of Steven Crowder. I was like, oh yeah, shouldn't be a problem. Hey, Lucy goes working on that presentation. Hello. Of course, fake Alec Kyle Parker. Like, I have stabilized. I have stabilized the avatar a bit. So some of the more hardcore, erratic movements you won't see anymore. Like the avatar is gonna be a bit smoother today. That's true. Okay, let's go. Exclusive video reveals Steven Crowder emotionally abusing wife. In statement, Hillary Crowder's family says she had his emotionally abusive behavior for years. Damn. That shouldn't be an issue either. Getting 50 viewers, true. And then you will see how Lucy Haze looks like in real life on camera. And in 2 weeks, I'll also be able to speak more freely since I can still feel that slight burn in the throat.
Because I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary.
Wait.
Because I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car.
What?
Oh, Barry!
To do wifely things.
I will have to listen to it again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for a subscription. Thank you so much. Thank you for the tier 1 subscription. But now we have to listen to it again.
Then I will go pick up the groceries.
Pick up the groceries, Crowder. It's not that hard. Jesus, Crowder.
Because I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things,
Wifely things?
then I will go pick up the groceries. Steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it.
What?
Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes, how does a man respect? How does a man receive love and respect?
What's happening?
No. How does a man No, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
You're not taking the car.
Steven,
You are not
then
taking
I
the
will
car.
ask them to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not a threat, Steven.
A threat? What the hell? Hello, Jackin. How did... I'm so surprised she stayed with him for so long. This is ridiculous. Is that a threat? How are you... Oh my god. Like...
An Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven.
Like, I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you
What?
I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
Steven,
Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Steven,
You're making it worse.
What?
The only way out of this is discipline and respect.
This... What? The only way out of this when is discipline and she grew up evangelical. She was groomed. Like, I hate to ask this question, which I don't know. Like, maybe I'm the weird person for thinking this. Like, apart from all of the weird abuse coming from Steven Crowder, saying weird stuff about discipline, don't they both have a car? Don't they both have their own car? In those sort of situations, usually both people just have their own car. What seems to be even the issue here? Couldn't what? The situation is that she wanted to take the car and he wanted what's going on? Evangelical women are raised with the expectation that their husband is gonna do it and they should just go along with it. With the amount of money he makes, he can easily have more than one vehicle to get around. He probably has one to box her in. It's not about whether or not they both have cars. Yeah, I know it's not, but it just, as an aside thing, it's like, it's such a very, this weird talk of discipline. It's about trying to guilt trip her into staying at the house. Like, it's making everyone's life miserable for no reason. Like, it literally feels like he's just making her life miserable for no reason. This is so ridiculous. Like when she said, I'll just ask someone to pick me up. And he was like, was that a threat? Are you threatening me? And then he's like, the only way out of this is discipline and respect. What is this nonsense? Like, this creeps me out, unironically. This creeps me out. In America, it's absurd to have only one car per household if you're not single. Like him saying about her taking it or boxing him sounds like projection. Yeah, it does. Like, so ridiculous. Discipline and respect. What does that even mean? It's the only way he could keep a wife. Yeah. No wonder Crowder is against no-fault divorce. He's talking to her like if he was talking condescendingly to his own audience. He's a miserable man and wants his wife to be miserable as well. Try being someone worth respecting, Steven, right? I don't know. Wasn't there that saying that respect is earned?
It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
We are gonna.
Impasse? Like, okay, do you know what makes me angry more than anything else in the world? Do you know what annoys me? What I have no sort of... I recently saw Vosh say on stream that he has little to no respect for people with low self-control, right? You know what? You know what is the sort of people that I have little respect for? I have little respect for people that take small issues, non-issues, that take normal everyday situations and turn them into huge toxic arguments and make the other person's life miserable over nothing. I hate it so much when you take a very simple situation like going to the store and you turn it into this whole thing about you, about discipline or whatever. You create some bizarre impasse. Like, ridiculous. You know? Ridiculous.
An impact.
We are gonna get past.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline or respect. Yeah. There you go.
You can't have any discipline and respect. The discipline part is just idiotic. I'm just gonna call it what it is. The discipline part is idiotic. And when you're in a relationship, whatever relationship it is, respect is mutual. It doesn't just go one person respects the other and the other person like one person respects and the other treats the person like crap. It doesn't work like that. You know?
You throw your hand. You give up so easily.
I don't give up, Stephen.
Hillary,
Stephen?
you give up so easily.
I
I just said the only way out of this
What does that mean? You give up so easily?
is discipline or respect. You said,
Oh yeah. When someone refuses to be your personal slave or whatever, that means you're giving up. Right. Crowder views her as a servant. Ridiculous.
then we're at an impasse.
Stephen, no, we are at a
It's a two-way street. Yeah, of course. It has to be. Otherwise, it ends up in a divorce.
past, okay? I love you, but Stephen, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
What? Okay. Did you see this exchange? Steven, I love you, but you're being abusive. Watch it. Watch it. Like, yeah.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
Yeah, she really seems to be trying to make this work. You know? She's really struggling to make this work. Like, I really, like, it's really no wonder that she has had enough. Like, when she's actually trying to communicate with him, tell him that she's being abusive, and she's like, watch it. Like, that is a threat, yeah.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. We're at an impasse. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife worthy.
A wife worthy. Well, you know what? You got what you wanted. The marriage is over.
Oh, Barry!
Thank you for gifting Zoshelix with a tier 1 subscription. Thank you very much.
No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife.
As a
I said
wife.
Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll get text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Sounds like hell to be committed to him, to be honest.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not trying to.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to you. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves.
I need to.
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I,
Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
What?
I'm gonna just.
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs take? No, you take Betty.
As the Crowders head inside, Stephen gets angry and angry by his own admission, screams, I will... What? At his pregnant wife, Hillary, who then flees their home. By the way, I'm gonna also... This sort of situation can lead to... It is worth noting, okay? Like... This sort of situation can lead to a loss of pregnancy. You should keep that in mind, okay? This sort of situation can and does lead to a miscarriage, you know? Like when a person is pregnant, it's like, especially in the later stages, it's best not to avoid stressful situations exactly like this one. You know? Like, yeah, of course. It does lead to stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a situation. I'm surprised she stayed in the marriage for so long. I'm surprised she has not left it much sooner. But yeah, let us all mock Steven Crowder together with Vosh. All right, let us do it together as a White Forest family.
The energy, it came from within the house. It's all making sense now. The big plan is coming together. So, what do you got? What do you got to say, Steve? What's up?
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now.
Boot on my neck. What a victim. Victim Steve. Poor Steve. With a boot on his head.
Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear.
Oh my good. Okay, wait. Then I missed.
A horrendous divorce. What's going on behind the scenes that makes the divorce horrendous? I mean, seeing the video that we've just seen, I think that it's like more like a wonderful divorce. She's free now.
Remembered. Wow. Whew, this has been going on for a while. Yee.
There is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side.
There has been no abuse on either side. No, that is a lie. We just saw that there was a lie. There definitely was abuse on one side. Okay? So right off the bat, that is a blatant lie. Yeah, I will. That is a blatant lie. There was no abuse on either side. What a joke.
And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore.
Well, guess why? We've just seen a whole video explaining why. You know? Like, I really appreciate the saying that a picture says more than 1,000 words. He does get paid to lie. True. That is true.
And in the state of Texas, that
Man, right off the bat, that's pretty wild. Isn't like the standard cope response from everyone who's being dumped or divorced that it was like a mutual thing? Maybe that's more of like a relationship ending with boyfriend and girlfriend thing. I don't know if that's so much with marriage, but like I feel like Steven would be incentivized here to go like, yeah, it was a mutual decision. Wasn't really.
I mean, he already sort of semi made it a more of a mutual thing by saying that there was no abuse on either side.
Now, and I'll just flatly say, yeah, my wife just doesn't want to be with me anymore.
That is completely permitted.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. State of Texas?
Be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted.
I mean, shouldn't it be? Should it not be permitted? Should she be shackled for him for life, no matter what he does?
Yes, that is.
Like he did cry in the previous video that she was not wife worthy. So I guess she decided that if she's not wife worthy, then what's the point of being his wife? So she divorced him. Of course. What she did was a pretty logical conclusion of what he was saying in that video we've just watched. You know?
True. We have no-fault divorce laws. Oh, Republicans are gunning for those too, by the way. Republicans want to go back to the day when, like...
Oh yeah, in Poland, conservatives are trying to get rid of divorce as well, by the way. Just so you know.
It used to be... So, no-fault divorces basically means, like, you can get out of the contract, the legal contract, no matter what. This is also known as freedom. But conservatives want to return to the day where you needed, like, a reason to get out of divorce. And, man...
Actually, it used to be a little bit different, okay? Before there was a clean-cut no-fault divorce, there was actually no divorce. But there was something called treating the marriage as invalid.
Oh, Barry!
Oh, thank you so much for gifting Palmat a tier 1 subscription. Thank you so much. So, that's actually a very interesting thing, you know? Because there were a few ways to get a divorce for all intents and practices. And one of those ways was to make a mistake in the marriage papers on purpose in order to later be able to point to that mistake that was made during the marriage on purpose and say, this marriage is not this marriage was done incorrectly, so it is sort of not, so it does not have to be upheld because it was done incorrectly to begin with. You know? And that is what people getting married would do. They would leave this back door for a divorce by creating mistakes in the paperwork on purpose. That was like the 90th century method of, one of the 90th century methods of getting a divorce. Of course, there were things like divorce if a husband was violent, etc. I know. Oh, that is not good to hear, Boy Meets Mimi. Wait, have you ever told what South Asian country you're from? I don't think you ever said. Is it okay to ask?
Depending on the country and time, the reason you needed had to be, like, pretty severe. I think there were actually illicit services that were offered in many like European countries through the. I mean, God, for a while this was like an institution where basically they would like arrange fake evidence for infidelity or for abuse to try to get the courts to rescind a marriage. Or there'd be cases where like a husband and wife didn't want to be together anymore, but you can't just divorce for that reason. So like the man would have to like sleep with a bunch of prostitutes and then be caught by his wife who was in on it because then she could go like my husband was just like
And
insane
of course, for the longest time, divorce was not an option, but only separation.
shit like that. Like if people don't want to be together, they'll find their get-arounds. Of course, the real reason they don't want no-fault divorce is exactly what you're looking at here. Steven Crowder wants to be able to look at his miserable wife who wants a divorce and say no, and then force her to spend the rest of her life with him. That's
Yeah. And then tell her how she's not wife worthy, how she should put on the gloves, or that he will whack her up or whatever.
the reason why, yeah, he said that.
It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible.
Divorce is horrible. I think the research actually indicates that on average, children of homosexual parentage actually fare better than heterosexual parentage. Though that might be influenced by economic factors, because usually gay couples that have the money to adopt or have kids or whatever are usually wealthier than like the median het family. All the same, just
All depends.
research there. I grew up. I had a friend back in high school who had two gay parents, and the two gay parents were miserable, abusive pieces of shit for what it's worth. You know, I also have had many friends who have had heterosexual parents who were miserable, abusive pieces of shit. So not really skewing the data much there, but
Yeah.
that is the that's the one negative example
I mean, you reap what you sow, right? Make all parents gay. True.
that I have. Yeah.
But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter.
Wait, is the whole video just going to be him going like, it's not legal for me to force my wife to stay with me?
Yes. That is basically what this video is probably going to be. Yes,
Steven.
In
Steven.
Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it.
Yeah, that is. It
Period.
is. That's what we're.
So
that's
for
the
well
whole,
over a year, well over a year, in the best
That is true. He is just angry.
of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. And all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault.
Oh yeah, I know. You're to blame.
All these issues
I
private.
know they're blameless. That's because you're to blame. You're the abuser in the situation, of course. Crying with Crowder. That's good. You know, I will probably either put it on the thumbnail or as the title. Crying with Crowder. That's good. That's great. I'm gonna use this. I'm stealing this from you.
Privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Divorce is really rough on kids. You know, I'm like the only guy I know who has really good parents. Both of my parents are warm and friendly and supportive, and always have been. And like everybody else that I know, their parentage situation is just like a divorce, or they're pieces of
True.
shit, or they're like distant or whatever. Everyone's always been jealous of my parents.
We will have tears. Also, the situation between my parents has been very complicated. It was not a nice, warm, calm marriage. Let me just say that. It was they had a very complicated marriage and they did end up divorcing, so I have not had the luck of having a parents' situation like Vosh, unfortunately.
Parents, all my friends growing up. And you know, having good parents really is a huge boost in life. The confidence that allows me to say dumb shit online 24/7 and make money off of it was definitely like a product of my parents being really supportive of me.
So I don't know what the product of me saying things online and getting paid for it is. I have no clue what the source of my strength is. I have no clue. I will have to look within.
And sort of like, you know, coddling my autistic Riz when I was young, you know, because autistic Riz
I would be really sad, Draken, if that was actually the case.
takes a while to hone. You know, it's like a blade with a
I'm
whetstone.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not reading the whole comment, but I'm gonna be able to speak much more energetically and fast once my throat is fully recovered. And that'll be in about 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, my throat should be recovered, according to my doctor.
You know, my parents see me stumbling around when I'm an upstart youth, being a embarrassment, and rather than shame me for it, they're like, one of these days, he's not going to make me cringe out of my skull, and maybe one day we'll get there. It's a process.
Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long, many other people knew about this behind the scenes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's a good reaction. Okay.
Not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this.
Oh, Candace Owens. This
They
is
also knew that the safety of my
That is good. Yeah. My friends are the source of my strength. Yeah, that is good.
children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion,
okay. I'm not entirely sure what he means by safety of his children. Does he mean like his kids would get?
I mean, I would say that Steven is not a very safe person seeing the video from just a couple of minutes ago. I would see that the safest option would be for the kids to stay with the mom.
Bullied at school if they heard that the parents were going through a divorce? I feel like the kids would get bullied at school for having Steven Crowder as a dad.
True. I agree.
If the mom keeps the kids, and then it became known that that like the divorce was happening.
Wait, hold on. What? Sirvain, your bio that tried to do what?
The school would be like, bro, you're losing Crowder as a dad? Bro, that's sick.
That's sick. That's a W. That's
Let's
such a
get
win.
gritty together. Because it's high school, so I assume
That is
it's
such a win.
let's plank. Wait, no, that's going back in time, not forward. Hold on. I don't know.
then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Stephen
Yep. We're
Candace
widening
Owens.
the Daily Wire Steven Crowder beef, which I love. I love conservative infighting. We'll get to more of that with Tucker. I love this more than anything. I love it more than anything in the world.
has a lot going on. I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody
God. Well, I'm glad that it didn't happen.
that isn't paying attention to the situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than
So trust me, an unloving household is worse than divorce. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% with what you're saying here.
that.
Oh my God, she's so mean.
You know, maybe if I feel
Oh my gosh.
some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Yeah. I'm glad it's better. And I'm glad she did.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm with Steven on this one. That was literally just her probing him. That was literally just her poking him with the stick. That's pretty overt. Yeah, okay, that's pretty funny.
People
Well,
needing scripture is
know,
one of many
you win
America's
some, you lose
problems.
some.
Well, my children have a right to privacy. Now, some
God.
other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So
I don't understand what he's like implying with the children in harm.
I don't know.
I
I don't know what he means with the harm's way either, to be honest.
idea. Is there like a squad of hitmen that have a contract where they'll be deployed in as children if ever the marriage ends? Well, I haven't.
I mean, mean girl vibes. True. Hello, Free Speech Studios 111.
No idea. I don't know why he keeps saying that. What initially I assumed it was just like generic privacy protection, but he's he's really leaning on that.
to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address
Oh my gosh.
this. If you're asking yourself,
The wife has to get the kids, right? There's
That would be
Crowder's,
best.
like openly said paternal leave is for sissies. Like
Paternal leave is for what? What an idiot. I think he's bringing up his kids to demonize his wife for divorcing him. I agree, actually.
this is one of those guys.
I agree.
Like, I'm spending time with the kids. What am I, a woman? There's no.
True.
He's got a whole media career. I don't know anything about Crowder's wife. I don't think she's a public figure. I assumed she was just a housewife. I mean, Crowder definitely makes enough money. They don't need two incomes. I assumed she would get the kids. I have no idea. That's very important info to me because I want to make fun of him over it. And,
True.
and by the way, I don't think that's just me like making fun of the misfortune of a person who I don't like, though it is definitely mostly that. Politically, like this.
It's also laughing from the misfortune of a bigot and an abuser. Okay? You reap what you sow. You abuse your spouse, they leave. That's it.
Man is using his divorce as a way of complaining about no-fault divorce laws.
Yeah.
Like the ideology of this guy is one of like coercion and of
Yeah. Basically 18th or 19th century.
of housewives of you know, like that. It's this is a vehicle for broader grievances. So the fact that he's like bad at relationships or that it's falling apart or whatever, you know, you can infer whatever you want, but like I cannot imagine this guy is particularly pleasant to spend his time around. Can you imagine living in a house? I feel like living in a house with Steven Crowder would just be.
We don't have to imagine. We saw it. We saw it on video. We don't really need to imagine or speculate anymore. So thank you for linking that little snippet of his life for us.
Being subjected to like minstrel shows 24/7, but like bad ones, you know? Like, hey, I'm not praising minstrel shows. However, I assume they had a writing team. Crowder,
I mean, we did saw a whole video of Steven Crowder abusing his wife. So yeah, we don't have to imagine how it's like. We can see it on
the other hand, he's
record.
acting this shit, okay? So I think it would actually be worse, you know? No practice runs on these. I think my man just like keeps a sombrero tucked next to the fridge and like a giant comedy mustache and is doing his essay bit at the kids. Like,
If only that was the thing he was doing and not the thing that we saw on video. If only that was the bit that he was doing. But alas, unfortunately, no.
where, you know? Yeah, it's the
What we got in reality, or rather what his ex-wife got in reality, was infinitely worse.
Hennessy. Yeah, I have no idea. He's got like tactical shoe shine stashed in like 58 places across his large house, so that at any moment, whenever he thinks it'd be a funny bit, like his kid asks for help with math homework, and he's like, how would a black answer? And he like smashes a window and reaches into like the frame and pulls out a little thing of shoe shine, starts like rapidly applying. He's like, wait, that's my. That's my best guess as to what it would be like to live with Steven Crowder. I don't know.
Yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes.
I did kind of think the same thing. That video we saw was also just a tiny snippet of Chowder's home life. Yeah, that is true.
Which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and, in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children.
I'm not sure how to comment on this, considering, once again, what we saw in the video.
And she wanted something else for her life.
Man, this is got to be rough behind the scenes, man. This is
Yep.
Do you think?
Yep. I mean, we saw a sample.
I have to assume that, like, for the entire divorce process, Crowder's been like, okay, you can't do an expose on this. You can't do an expose. You can't. I swear to God, you can't. I will sue you into oblivion if you do a tell-all story about living with me or whatever. Because I assume his wife's gonna stay silent, because otherwise, man, if she ever doesn't.
I don't know who leaked that video. Who was the one that leaked that video that we saw before?
With a YouTuber. Oh man. I'm just imagining her like just showing up on like the Drunken Peasants or
Drunken Peasants
in a bread tube or Destiny stream or something.
To
And
Destiny.
Embarrassing shit in the universe gets dumped. Gotta contact her. That's right. I gotta reach out. I gotta find.
I haven't just heard about the abuse, JJ Candelabra. We've watched a video of it. Okay, we've watched a video footage of the abuse. You know? So at this point, I haven't just heard about it. I saw the footage of it. Welcome to the stream as well. So it's not really speculation at this point. If you have video evidence, was from a Ring camera. I doubt it would be hard for someone motivated to rub the data. True. That's true.
Find a way. It's the only way. That's probably not going to happen. I have to assume that it's pretty Loctite.
That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works.
Yeah, she wanted an out because you're an abusive piece of crap. And she deserved an out from the situation. Also, as Bosch was told about during today's stream, the day that Crowder's wife was delivering their twins, he bought another home purely to not go to the hospital and to get put off helping take care of his twins. Oh my God. I don't even, what do you even say to that?
Works.
Once again, literally, like, I wish the law forced her to stay with me. I can't. Dude, how embarrassing. Like 4 times in the same video? Oh man, we'll talk about
That
that
is
next.
pretty
Now,
embarrassing,
of
yeah.
course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is
This is okay. This is my new Marvel Cinematic Universe feature, okay? Guys, coming
What
to a
is?
segment near you, but it's like the next segment, not this one. So it's like you have to see all the segments for it to make sense, okay? I'm gonna do cryptography, all right? The Zodiac
My
codes will
gosh.
have like cipher pieces scattered across all of my videos, and you have to watch all of them to catch it. We'll do like an ARG thing, okay? And then once you've put it all together, you can finally figure out how I feel about conservatives. And we found a K, we found a Y. Yeah.
undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my children.
Nope. Your choice. You actually, the mistake was her accepting you, and your fault lies within you being an abusive piece of crap. I think that's the more accurate representation of what happened. I think so.
And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation.
What is best for your children would be to be as far away from you as possible.
Certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother, and I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud. And to anyone who tries it, I'm no longer going to pacify, capitulate, or sidestep because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce on
Jesus.
social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them. I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record in which I have more.
Steven Crowder is gonna sue me. He only sees his family's status symbol, and with that symbol being taken away from him, he knows he'll be ostracized by his community and from some conservative args.
Than full confidence. So I'd ask that you understand the need for and respect our privacy. And
There's no way he's keeping the kids, right? Otherwise,
There is no way.
there's no way. Well, I wish the wife and the kids luck, right? Like I have no reason to think I have no reason to think ill of them. The wife has to be pretty
You said at Free Speech Studios 111. Like he picked wrong. Ridiculous.
weird to have fallen for Crowder to begin with, but like bitches be dumb. I don't know. That's the thing with women, okay? It's women drop all of their like red flag detection systems the moment you do a goofy jig in front of them. All you have to do is a little two-step in front of a girl, and it, you know, she falls for you. So I imagine he can do a two-step, and that's probably what happened.
what is obviously a pretty tough time. And I hope that none of this has to go any further than that.
Well, good luck to them. Man,
My gosh.
why do all of these conservative icons of traditional families and relationships keep getting in divorces? No, Trump's been,
I wonder.
or is it 3 marriages or 3 divorces? I don't remember. Seems to keep happening though, like all over the place. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, divorce is obviously like really difficult. It's you know, part of this is Schadenfreude, of course, but a lot of it is also just yeah, I don't know. I think like it's pretty obvious.
Well,
that
if your spouse happens to be a gigantic piece of crap abuser, then it's okay probably to divorce them.
if any like direct political message was to be taken from this, it would be that Crowder wants to live in a world where the state can force women to stay with him, even if they don't like him anymore. Like, and he's pretty open about that, which
Yeah,
to me like
he
a
is.
direct and overt statement about the way conservatives view women, and the way conservatives view a marriage, and the way conservatives view, I guess, like love as a concept. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It goes so much further than just misogyny. Obviously, that's a big part of it, but I think it also speaks to like a fundamental underlying political sociopathy, an ideology that sort of numbs you to the
I'm gonna basically trying to get to a state in history when the woman was basically an accessory to the husband. And there was a moment in history when that was very much the case,
Concept
especially for the wealthy.
of I don't know. I didn't even want to say like unconditional love because I don't think that's really a thing in any case. You know, there's always some outsized condition. I get mad at unconditional love in media, you know, where it's like oh, how, you know, Sasuke, how could you drop the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but I still care about you, my brother? No, fuck you. I'm not, you know, but there's something about conservatism that really just really destroys fundamental parts of the human body. You know, it's not good. It's not good.
It is not good indeed. But if you think this stream is good, if you think this segment is good, if you think what I do is good, then consider subscribing to this channel, hitting the bell, and supporting this channel in any way you can. Thank you, as this is this is going to be my main source of income, what I'm doing here. So please consider doing those things. Bye.